truck race in question forming up. As far as the grid is concerned, it's the Virginia for Lovers 200. We're in Henrico County, Virginia, right outside of Richmond, where the trucks are rumbling around on their parade laps in anticipation of the start. In a battle for the championship, you've got Jack Sprague on top. 85 back is Bickle. Hornaday 104 out. Don't count out Ruttman. He didn't qualify great, but he's only 131 out of the championship battle. The top 10, a bunch tighter than they were a year ago this time.
And Manufacturer Championship, if Chevrolet wins tonight or runs second, they will clinch the Manufacturer Championship for 1997.
17 Chevrolets, 14 Fords, and 5 Dodges. And here's how they will line up. The pole sitter is Hornaday, and he can tie the record for wins in a season. He's looking for his 8th tonight. Mike Bliss outside row 1. Then come Kenny Irwin, the defending race champion, and Jack Sprague, the current series point leader. Look who's 5th. Jeff Bodine's little boy Barry making his 5th truck start, and Joe Ruttman 4th ranked in the points. Further back, you've got Kenny Schrader, the Winston Cup star, alongside Stacy Compton, the Virginian, and Rich Bickle, flanked by Bob Keselowski.
As you look at the rest of the starting grid tonight, here's the racetrack. Look how dark that surface is. These trucks really get in a good grip. Should be able to run 2 abreast without any problem whatsoever.
What a magnificent racetrack this is. It has such a great history. Strawberry Hill Raceway. They called it back in the old days when it was dirt. It was rebuilt as a blacktop half mile, and then in the late 80s, Richard Petty bulldozed that up, and Paul Sawyer built a 3/4 mile short track that looks and acts a lot like a super speedway. Tonight we have the 36 fastest qualified trucks out of a huge field that came here, Benny. A lot of guys had to go home.
53 trucks tried to qualify this afternoon. These are the top 36.
Getting right down to it as we take a ride with Kenny Irwin. Here's Boris Sed's on truck camera, and the green flag is going to be coming out this time. Jimmy Hensley's view as they turn for the start. We're live at Richmond. The Virginia is for Lovers 200. Green in the air, and we're underway. Take long for Hornaday and Bliss to start beating on each other. Hornaday breaks to the front, takes the early lead.
That's Kenny Schrader, the green and white 53 truck, being passed by Joe Ruttman.
Battle for 5th. Give it to Ruttman. It's happening right behind the series leader. Glimpses of the green 24. Jack Sprague. We're underway at Richmond. 1 lap in the books. I cannot think of a better way to spend a Thursday night than this. Benny, this is cool.
This is cool. There's Brian Refter in 66, trying to get by Keselowski in 29.
17, the orange and black truck. That's Bickle. He's 2nd ranked in the championship standings.
The 61 truck, Randy Tolsma. It is yellow for the first time. Trying to identify their sponsor, Dole. The pineapple people. And there's come Chuck Bound, the 99 next side truck.
Meanwhile, up front, Hornaday setting sail, but Bliss a truck and a half back in that 2nd spot. Here's the contrast. Hornaday has won more races this year than any other driver. 7 victories, including 5 in this recent Charge Backport Championship contention. Bliss has not yet won a race, and he badly wants to do that with just 4 races left in the season.
We're right along with Hornaday as he looks back at Mike Bliss, and there we see the 80 going by 24. Ruttman, the LCI truck, takes over from Sprague. Moves him into the 4th spot. And a battle for the lead, Dave.
Bliss looking at the bottom. Hornaday will not let that go easily, but I don't think he can stop that, Benny. Bliss got a good truck, sticks it to the bottom of the racetrack, gets the nose out front, but Hornaday hanging on, digging on the outside.
And Bliss will take the lead. Hornaday will try to come back on the inside. Can't quite make it. Meanwhile, Kenny Irwin right behind in the 98 truck.
Kenny Irwin Jr. really in a slump of late, since the news that he was being considered for what turns out to be his Winston Cup debut right here in Richmond this weekend. He certainly has not had any problems with this weekend's activity as he qualified 3rd. He runs 3rd, and he's only about 2 truck lengths behind the sparking number 16 of Ron Hornaday. That's a big pass for Bliss. Obviously, his truck is working very well.
Ooh.
Hornaday, meanwhile.
And he's laying that truck up against the outside retaining wall.
First the sparks, then the wiggle. What are we seeing here, Ben?
I don't know. The sparks really concern me because I have never seen trucks bottom out in spark at Richmond.
Out the back, you see Kenny Irwin Jr. This is not a high bank racetrack. It's not a racetrack that tends to push the trucks down and compress them against the asphalt. Side bite is typically the issue here. So Hornaday may not have the best handling truck out there. This battle continues between Refner and the 66 and Bickle. And for the moment, it looks like Refner's got the better of it. Keselowski sitting back here and hounding these guys. This at the tail end of the top 10. In fact, this is 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And Keselowski dived on the inside of Bickle and put Bickle back another spot.
This is not good for Rich. He'd gotten in front of Refner. Now he's lost 2 spots, and suddenly we have Hornaday under serious attack here from Kenny Irwin.
And Irwin is taking a look. Oh, close. And here he comes. He'll try again on the inside as they exit turn 4.
He saw Bliss do it. He knows how it's done. Bliss, his old counterpart, running mate from USAC. Here's Irwin alongside, trying to force the issue, press Hornaday out of the groove. If and when he does so, there will be a line behind Hornaday trying to keep him from closing that door.
Some of our spotters tell us that there's a report of oil on the racetrack as Hornaday loses another spot and yet another spot as Sprague goes by.
Let's go to Marty.
The fluid on the racetrack, maybe from the 35 of Kelly Denton. He made it into the field on a provisional. I asked him what was wrong. He said, we found water in the oil earlier. He says, I have no idea how far this motor can go tonight.
Kelly Denton carrying the Ortho colors here tonight. Dave Resendiz, of course, was driving that truck last week at Watkins Glen. New arrangements have been made. Resendiz is not here for 2 reasons. The loss of the ride, but also the loss of his mother. And our condolences go to the Resendiz family.
Mike Bliss trying to check out, but Kenny Irwin says, not so fast, Mr. Bliss.
Remember that Silver Crown race at Indianapolis Raceway Park a couple of years ago? Let's do that again. Let's race these babies right down to the wire. Meanwhile, we see Hornaday going backwards from the pole back to 6th. And this early in the race, that is not a good sign.
That is definitely not a good sign.
This is not the kind of series where you drop back to midfield, bide your time, and then put the button down and run back to the front. 185 to go. It's a 200-lapper. We're just barely underway, and we're glad you're here. Virginia is for lovers of truck racing tonight. Mike Bliss out front. Kenny Irwin second. There's your top 10, and we'll be right back. ESPN2 comes to Henrico County, Virginia for the truck race, brought to you by Quaker State, the quality your car deserves, and by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Ernie Irvin has hit trouble early in the running here, and the Virginia is for lovers 200, and the number 28 truck has gone behind the wall, so that doesn't bode well for his prospects for this evening. Once you get to pit road under green, you're already in big trouble, and when you go behind the wall, the trouble is huge.
That's Billy Pouch that those guys are going by, the 06 car, and Sprague goes by Rutman, moves into 3rd spot. That's the 24, the green 24 is Jack Sprague, our Craftsman Truck Series points leader.
He backed up for the first couple of laps of the race, Benny, and now seems to have reorganized and is definitely going the right direction as to put a lap there on the 06 of Pouch, and I wonder if he was just feeling out that new sealer.
Could possibly have been, and we see Kenny Schrader also coming forward in 53. And Schrader takes a look on the inside of Joe Rutman.
A lot of room to pass here at Richmond. Big wide racetrack, plenty of room. Lap traffic an issue now for the leaders as Bliss and Irwin head down into the corner and lap Joe Gaeta. A lot more traffic in front of them.
That 31 truck is Tony Roper. They're going by on the outside. When Bliss goes up, Irwin will try to dive to the inside. But meanwhile, they've got trucks side by side in front of them.
This is when things can get sticky. Bliss trying to force an opening. Irwin says, I may take advantage of this and pass you. He's up alongside. Lap traffic side by side in front of them. And then the leaders.
And Roper just pulls over to let the trucks go by. No, he doesn't. And they've got Brad Teague on the outside, the 0-4, but they all get off the corner, and they are side by side.
Wow, you talk about busy. Bliss turns it in right across the nose of Kenny Irwin Jr. They negotiate to the outside of Roper. Here comes Jack Sprague. There was an opening there for Kenny Irwin for a moment, but he couldn't find room to elbow through it. Oh, Sprague got into Irwin. Will he hit the wall? No. He keeps it off the concrete. There goes Ruttman by to take third. Kenny Irwin Jr. with a tap from Sprague falls back to fourth spot.
And Irwin's brakes, rotors are just cherry red. And meanwhile, Schrader is working on Sprague for second spot. Takes a look on going in one. He will take over that second spot.
He took a look and took the position in the time it takes to talk about it. Kenny Schrader's got a good truck here tonight. This is his first appearance of the season. Mike Wallace, of course, campaigns his truck on a regular basis.
Here we are going down in the corner. Irwin dives for the corner. Sprague tries to get out, touches him on the left rear, and Kenny Irwin did a tremendous job. Otherwise, he would have backed that thing in the fence.
Let's go to Marty down trackside.
Yeah, we're down here with Ernie Irvin. Ernie, quick exit tonight. They said you were on fire?
No, actually, Federated Auto Parts truck, we had some problems with the clutch, started slipping, so nothing we can do about it.
Well, they saw some sparks coming out of that. That must have been what they were talking about. No chance of getting it back out, though, right?
No, we're going to go to Martinsville.
All right, we'll see him there in another truck race.
Meanwhile, this battle continues. Irwin will be trying to retaliate, regroup from that incident that saw him bumped. And Benny, I'd say that was about a tie, whether Sprague was coming up the track or Irwin was coming down when they made that contact.
That was what we'll see. And here's the same situation. Irwin tries to dive in there. Sprague was wise to not coming down all the way to the bottom of the racetrack.
Roles were reversed. Here's how close they run. Irwin's got a good truck. He's pressuring Sprague. This for the third spot. Ahead of them, Kenny Schrader runs in second. And Ruttman right there to try to move more contact as Ruttman got into the back of Sprague a little bit there. Ruttman hoping to pick up a position or perhaps two if another altercation takes place.
Now look who's right behind Joe Ruttman. Ron Hornaday has moved back up into sixth. He's still in sixth spot, but he's getting closer to the cars directly in front of him.
Hornaday, if you just joined us, started on the pole, backed up quickly, now regroups from sixth. That's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth that you're watching. As the series leader, number 24, Jack Sprague, dives down into three, then up off four.
Check out the speeds last time by, and we see that the third place truck, Kenny Irwin, and look at Keselowski back in seventh spot, was after the fastest truck, had the fastest lap that last time.
That would put him first Dodge. Here's trouble for Rick Crawford, and that is significant in terms of the Cintas Rookie of the Year standings. Rick didn't qualify a lick this weekend, 31st on the grid, while Kenny Irwin, with whom he is tied for Rookie of the Year honors, started up front. Now Crawford's car has broken in a very big way, and that means Kenny Irwin will take over uncontested leadership of the rookie division. Here you see the points breakdown. Stacey Compton and Tony Raines also tied for second. Said qualified decently. Tammy Jo Kirk making a one-shot deal here tonight, having lost her sponsor. We'll take a commercial break with the action continuing on a Thursday night at Richmond. Bliss the leader, but Schrader is ready to challenge.
Leaders at the start-finish line.
We're back. We ride with the 19th place truck of Wayne Grubb here at Richmond and look ahead to the weekend when the Kart PPG Series moves to Laguna Seca. This is where Brian Herta and Alex Zanardi first got to be such good friends. Qualifying will be at 12:30 a.m. on ESPN2 on Saturday. We'll have On the Grid on Sunday, and the run-up to the show, that'll be 2:30 Eastern Time with the big race at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN, the Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey.
Stacy Compton rides directly in front of Wayne Grubb. And there's our leader, Mike Bliss. Still continues to lead the Team ASC.
Took command early, but will have company shortly. He has lapped Tony Raines, as you can see. Let's find out what happened to Rick Crawford. Here's Marty.
Rick, Cintas Rookie of the Year contender. You're tied with Kenny Irwin right now. What put you out, and what do you think about the effects on the challenge there?
Well, everybody on the Circle Bar Motel and RV Park team has really worked hard this year to get us in the Rookie of the Year hunt. And, now that we're there, we had our first engine problem. The engine let go on us, and I'd just like to say hello to Adam, and we'll get him in Martinsville.
Disappointed, but you're not going to give up, are you?
No, we got 6 races to go. Anything can happen now.
We'll see you at Martinsville.
Well, my hat's off to him. He didn't say it was a great truck. I always hate it when they say it's a great truck. Had a great truck. Of course, it blew up. Why am I behind the wall? There's your points leader. That's Jack Sprague. He is currently 4th on the racetrack.
Looking back from Kenny Irwin's truck to Jack Sprague. We ride along with third-place truck as he goes by Tony Raines in the Pennzoil Dodge.
You saw Irwin wave goodbye to Jack Sprague.
Oh, he got a crash down in turn 1. And the caution flag is out.
Number 47 is Jeff Green, making his very first truck start. This in replacement of David, his brother, who has the broken shoulder from Bristol. Scheduled to start tonight, but Jeff has clouded the wall pretty good here.
It's a good thing David Green was not in that truck.
That would have hurt.
That would have hurt.
This may be a little 3/4 of a mile short track, but as you see from those speed numbers periodically, upper left, they get around this place in a hurry, and that means when you clout the concrete, you hit it hard. Yeah.
We see he hit the wall about the start-finish line. Or maybe even coming off turn 4. And what caused that, we don't know. We see the right front tire is obviously flat.
It
Could be that the brakes,
or the other way around.
Brakes might have done that. We'll see.
He actually spun that truck in qualifying, but came back with a good qualifying run to put it inside the top 20. Bliss leading. Schrader hasn't mounted the attack as yet, but we expect it. Stay tuned.
Back at Richmond International Raceway, and you can see what's left of Jeff Green's right front tire. That's the reason he was into the wall. In fact, the crew is waving him back in. Here he comes right in, and he is going to make another stop here in pit lane. He's a little far out. I think they're going to take a check and make sure that everything is A-OK before they send him out, since we're still under caution. But they're not sure quite yet what happened. They think that the tire cut down.
He better hustle because they're getting the green. Oh, they're going behind the wall. Jeff Green is going behind the wall.
Benny, they say they're done for the night, that the truck just isn't going to handle. So we'll try and catch up with Jeff. Get back to you.
Green goes back in the air. First restart of the race on lap 51. Mike Bliss, the leader.
And Hornaday got that great restart. Goes by Keselowski on the outside to take over the 6th spot.
Next in his sights will be Joe Ruttman. Yellow hood, LCI, number 80. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Right there. Mike Bliss has had this all his way since he zipped around his old USAC rival, Kenny Irwin Jr., early in the race.
And here goes 16 truck on the outside. Look at the distance he lost to Ruttman by trying that outside groove. And here's Schrader right on the back bumper of Bliss.
Kenny of Winston Cup fame, making his first truck start of the season, but was 5th in the Richmond race 2 years ago, 1995. Got the potential for a big finish here this evening as he keeps the pressure on Bliss, but really hasn't launched the attack yet. Let's find out more about what happened to Jeff Green. He's with Marty.
Yeah, Jeff, you pulled it behind the wall after the contact. Give us the reasons why. Well, we cut one of those tires, the right front tire cut down. Probably run over something. I was running a little higher than everybody else to try to get it run off the corner. And kind of biding our time. You know, it's my first time. Appreciate Clarence and Redman for letting me do this. Thought we'd get a pretty good truck at the end of the race. Had a lot of things we could work on. Not my night. Looking forward to Saturday.
All righty. Dave, Benny, please stop sending me customers down here. I've got enough to do.
And Mike Bliss, the former leader, is now back to second spot, and he just might lose that as Irwin tries to get on the inside.
You know that Irwin is going to pull his way right back by just to show Bliss he can. After Mike did that to him early in the race. But look at Kenny Schrader check out on these guys.
And Kenny Irwin moves into the second spot. Now we got a battle for third between Sprague and Bliss.
Bliss caught out. Ruttman sitting there. Nope, couldn't get inside to prevent Bliss from coming down. But Mike doesn't yet close the door. Now in turn one he'll do so. Well, Ruttman couldn't take advantage. He'll stay fifth. Bliss goes from the lead to fourth. Wow. Follow Kenny Schrader up through the field as he started in seventh spot. Took him 55 laps to get to the lead. Ruttman's going to take another shot now, try to get around Bliss.
And now 29 Keselowski trying to get that position back from Ron Hornaday. He lost on the restart. He will do that.
Don't look in. Down there.
Now Rich Bickle's looking on the inside, just like the spotter told him.
Still there. Inside, he's got one with him. 17 in the tree.
Jay Sauter is right there behind Bickle to try to take advantage of this. Jay Sauter, who started 25th, has come through this field in a hurry.
Going with him. Clear behind the three.
Hornaday suffering.
Inside.
And there goes Sauter.
Look inside. I'm looking now. Still there. Clear behind him.
That's Chuck Bound going by the X-side truck.
The rear bar.
Hornaday says the rear bar.
Remember that you're hearing 2 or 3 different sets of radio communication there. Spotters on more than one truck. Looky there. Keselowski has taken the number 29 Dodge right up past Joe Ruttman and into the top 5.
And look out, here he comes on the inside of Bliss. Whoa.
They call Earnhardt the Intimidator.
Man, is Keselowski getting a grip off that corner tonight?
Look at that thing. He's just blowing by these guys. And this has not been a great weekend for Dodge. A couple of better Dodges had to take provisionals here. Tony Raines, a winner in this series this year, had to take a spot. Keselowski says, hey, man, it's all up to me. I'll go out and do it all by myself. He's just blowing by some of the best trucks in the game.
And Mike Bliss, the team, is getting very, very loose. We've seen him wiggle several times. We'll check the speeds at the line. Oh, there's a battle for the lead as Irwin takes a look on the inside. I'm sorry, this is not the speed. This is how far the trucks are behind the leader. And we see back in 10th spot that Hornaday is over 4.5 seconds behind the leader, Kenny Schrader.
Some good trucks, in series terms, that do not appear to be very good here this evening. Hornaday being at the top of that list. Riding with Irwin as Sprague keeps the pressure on him. Meanwhile, here is the second-ranked driver in the series, Rich Bickle in the 17, pursued by the rookie Jay Sauter. And Chuck Bound in the 99 is trying to tag onto the tail of that freight train and get around Mike Bliss as Bliss goes backward. Mike has slipped to 8th, and Bound is about to put him 9th. Pretty dramatic evidence here, Benny, of how quickly a truck can go bad.
Looking inside. Clear.
That's a 17, Rich Bickle spotter, telling him that Jay Sauter's looking on the inside. You talked about Jay Sauter. Look, folks, he started 25th. And here we are on lap 63 when he moved into the 7th spot.
We can get more on Mike Bliss's truck, I believe, from Marty.
Benny's eagle eye has struck again. We checked with Barry Dodson, the crew chief. He says, yep, Mike is very loose. He's hanging on for dear life.
Remember, in truck racing, they do get a mid-race break somewhere around lap 95 to 105, most likely 102. They will throw the yellow and bring the trucks to pit road for attention, adjustments, whatever you think your truck needs for the second half.
Clear.
And Barry Bodine, he's only run a handful of truck races. He moved by Ron Hornaday. Jeff Bodine's youngest son.
Side by side for second spot. Jack Sprague on the bottom, trying to put the move on Kenny Irwin Jr. The Ford holds on. The assault from the Chevy.
Now, Sprague, you want to try this on the outside? I don't think so.
No, that definitely didn't work. So Irwin keeps the Ford in the middle of the fray up front. Got a Chevy in front of him and a Chevy behind. We'll take a commercial break and come back with more. We're back. Virginia is for lovers, sponsoring the 200-lapper for the trucks here, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Richmond, Virginia. 26 races in the series. This is number 20. Kenny Schrader just flashing by. Here's the battle for second. There goes Schrader in the green and white. Kenny Irwin Jr. pressured by Jack Sprague, the series leader. And Keselowski in the Dodge, closing in on him. Napa Field summary will take you further back through the field. Keselowski is impressive. Sauter is impressive, having come from 25th. Barry Bodine, not Jeff, sitting in the top 10.
And Chuck Bound moves by the 17, moves into 7th spot. As they go by the 04 truck of Brad Teague, putting him a lap down.
Bickle, of course, second in
25 laps to break, 25.
Being informed there that there are 25 laps to the mid-race break. Apparently NASCAR has spread that word. That, of course, is pending a possible caution. The point of that, they don't necessarily specify that the break comes at halfway. They used to, they don't anymore, and the reason is simple. This is a 200-lap race. If it's 95, they have a big crash, and it's going to take a long time to clean it up. They'll just go ahead and call the break right then. Bottom line is it gives you more laps of green flag racing, and that's what the fans pay to see.
380.
Randy
All
Toll.
the old USAC guys hooking up here, Benny.
Exactly right. As we watch this, Tammy Jo Kirk has pulled her truck on the pit road. Very slow. Looks like she's going behind the wall. Tolsma battling Bliss for the 10th spot.
Tolsma's not had a top 10 finish this year, but got that pineapple paint job, and it's pretty quick. He goes around Mike Bliss. Bliss definitely overshadowed Tolsma during the course of their USAC careers and has thus far in the trucks. But Tolsma, over the last couple of races, has been pretty impressive. I thought he did a good job up at Watkins Glen. No more road racing experience that he has.
Yes, he did, and a very, very nice young man. And here comes Brian Rafter, the 66. He's going by Ron Hornaday, and Hornaday continues to slide backwards. He's back to 13th now.
If you've been keeping score with this onboard camera, a lot more cars, or a lot more trucks have gone by going toward the front than toward the back. Hornaday started on the pole and led the race, and is now 13th. That is not the way to win a championship.
Jimmy Hensley trying to get by Randy Renfro. That's Renfro in 41. He's in 14th spot. Jimmy Hensley in 15th.
Hornaday in his last 8 starts has won 5 races. One of the dramatic turnarounds in truck racing this year. This is for second. Irwin continuing to try to hold off Sprague and Keselowski. Sauter's coming. You can see the black truck back there gaining on him.
And Sprague gets a run. Down the backstretch, going in 3. Looks like he's got position on him.
They touched once, and Irwin got to the wall. This time they touch again, but Kenny holds his ground.
And there's traffic right in front of them, and he loses some spots. Irwin goes Wow, they're 3 abreast off the corner.
Finally got him loosened up, and Irwin loses big. Sauter's going to get by him as well.
And that was Boris said in 44 that said, wow.
Here's the look at it through Boris' windshield. Keselowski's going to take a shot here at Sprague, and this is for second spot, and he's got it. Wow, that's a good truck. That Dodge has come from 10th to what, Benny? 20 laps, no more than that.
Riding along with the 98 truck, Kenny Irwin. And Jay Sauter. Jay Sauter, a caution flag on the field.
Oil in turn 3.
Yellow is out.
Oil in turn 3.
Oil.
I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm still loose. But for about 5 laps there, I'm so loose I couldn't drive it. And all of a sudden it comes around. 100.
That bickle?
Sounds a little bit like it.
Sounded like that Wisconsin touch of accent there. We have oil in turn 3. We have our second caution flag of the night. We're close to the mid-race break at lap 84. Let's go to Marty.
Yeah, let's give you an update on Ron Hornaday. I went to Fred Graves. Fred, what's wrong? He says, we are bad loose. Benny, I don't understand this. We were worried about the track being too tight with this new surface. Everybody we're talking to down here that's going back to the back is real loose.
Marty, I think they all guessed on the racetrack getting really, really tight and loosen the trucks up, and it's not working that way. Once again, the question mark we talked about at the very top of the show. No one knows. There's no history at this racetrack with the surface that we've got right now, so they're all guessing, and some of them guessed wrong.
Marty, you just weren't listening at the top of the show. Ben explained it to you. He said it was a big unknown. Well, those guys know a lot more about it now than they did 84 laps ago, and they don't like what they found out very much. We're going to take a commercial break here as the yellow flag flies with Kenny Schrader leading this 200-lapper. Virginia is for lovers of truck racing tonight. We'll be right back. We are just about to go back to green. Here we go.
Go, 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 go.
And Sprague dives to the inside of the 3 truck, takes a spot away from Jay Sauter on the restart.
Jack Sprague in the green 24. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. He's been able to pass, but he's been passed as well. Sauter will retaliate at the entrance to 3. This is for 3rd. Way back in the traffic jam, number 16, Ron Hornaday, struggling mightily here this evening in 15th spot after starting this race from a record-setting pole position. 3-1. Bliss is just in front of him, number 2, started on the outside of the front row.
Behind the 66.
Spotter told him clear behind the 66, so he saw that Boris said was slower than they were, so he just dove in that spot and will go by Said on the outside. And Jimmy Hensley got position
inside. Clear. Looking again. Down there.
Sorting out the traffic for a short run to mid-race. During the commercial break, we were listening to Ron Hornaday's crew discussing the changes that they will make during the mid-race break. I would alert Marty Reed, if you're going to try to cover all of that, plan on having 2 breaks to do it, because it's going to take a while. Marty?
We can show you exactly what they're going to do on Ron Hornaday. They're going to put a couple of rubbers in the right front and also change the shock. They're going to try and really boost that right front up.
Hornaday, wicked loose. Lost 15 spots during the course of the first half of this race. Last thing he said in the communication about all the changes we were going to make in the truck, we can still win this thing.
Tony Roper watches as they go high and low.
There.
Hensley goes to the inside, but Hensley loses a spot to Butch Miller in the 20. The white number 20, Miller, goes by Hensley.
Butch didn't qualify a wreck tonight. He started this race in 26th spot. He who led the championship at the end of round 2.
He's now up to 14th spot, and he's trying to take over 13th from Hornaday. And look at those brake rubbers slow when they go in and touch the brakes.
This thing looks like a
Clear
super
behind him.
speedway. Don't be fooled. It is still very much
One looking.
an old-style short track. Hensley will get around Hornaday. Boy, this is grim for the defending series champion. They've been so so good over the last 8 races. Started the year with a crash at Disney World, 30th in the points, and then rebounded, won at Tucson, ran 6th or better in 4 of the next 5 races, then turned around the other way. They were 22nd or worse in 4 of the 5 after that. Then Fred Graves came on board as crew chief, and they won 5 of the next 8 races, had not been outside the top 5.
There we see the first 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trucks go by. Joe Rudman back to 8th. Randy Tolzman back to 9th spot.
There.
Gary Woodbine rounding out the top 10. It's only his 5th start in the truck. Number 7 is doing a good job for Dan Jeff tonight.
There's Wayne Grubb going by in the 4 truck. And Rick Carelli in Hornaday continues to struggle.
Caution is out, turn 4. Track is clear.
Looks like Scott Walters has brushed the wall in turn 4, so that necessitates a caution flag, and this might be our break.
There you see the Red Man Racing entry. Second of the trucks to have trouble here tonight. Jeff Green lost air pressure in the right front early and had to retire the team truck to this one, and so Walters out of all pro.
Run left, 97, run.
Heading for the pits. And it is now official. This will be the mid-race break, so this is exactly why they changed the rules. Bottom line, you're going to see a little more green flag racing tonight than you might otherwise have seen. When we come back, it's the Marty Reed Show from Pit Road at Richmond International Raceway. Lots of changes coming. You expected to see these trucks stopped on pit road? Well, so did we. And the halfway flags have just come out. NASCAR did not elect to call that the mid-race break. They are instead going to race past halfway. This is the midpoint in the race right here. And the halfway money goes to Kenny Schrader, but only by a couple of truck lengths over Keselowski, who sits in the 2nd spot. Up to 3rd is Jay Sauter. Jack Sprague rides 4th. Kenny Irwin Jr. rounding out the top 5. And now the yellow is out for the mid-race break.
I think the bottom line there, Penny, was that they realized there was no oil or debris or anything on the racetrack. As soon as the truck was clear, they were clear, so they went ahead and threw the green and let them race to halfway. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever, but we will see the trucks go on the pit road now, and Marty Reed will take over, and it's a lot of trucks going to need a lot of changes, trust me.
I don't know if there's a tight truck out there based on what we've seen so far. I'm sure there are a couple. Here's the way they run in the Napa Field summary as we get to halfway, and there are some surprises in there. The numbers in parentheses on the right are where they started. As you can see, starting up front wasn't necessarily the hot ticket thus far. Sauter with the most impressive move of the bunch. Sprague is right where he started the race. Irwin has gone backward. Bickle about holding his own.
We'll take a look at 16 through 30. We see we have 21 trucks in the lead lap. Mike Wallace, the last car truck on the lead lap. And Tammy Jo Kirk back at 30 spot is out.
This scheduled to be a 5-minute break, so they'll be hustling down there. And so, too, will our Marty Reed. Here are the guys who have retired here this evening. Yes, that is the Shelmerdine, Kirk Shelmerdine, former Earnhardt crew chief. Marty, you ready to go to work down there, buddy?
Yeah, let's go right in and try and find out as they lift up the left side of the truck, and we let them get their work done. But Ken Schrader got to get in here real quick. You're showing these guys a few things out there. Everybody's been reporting real loose, and you're flying.
Well, we'll have to see. You know, we're only halfway through, but little truck was running real good. We'll just have to see what happens in the second half. They got to get better, but they got the advantage because they know how much better they got to get.
You know what changes you're going to make?
Yeah, we sure do.
I love this guy. He didn't tell us any secrets. He knows everybody's watching on the satellite. Every pit. Let's move over here, guys, and see if we can get a word in with Jack Sprague. They're working underneath, doing some pounding on some fenders. Jack, a little bit of contact going on out there with you and Irwin and a bunch of other folks. Give us an update if we can get the, well, we can't seem to get the window net down, but yeah, this is...
Let a professional
there
handle
we
that,
go.
Marty. There you go.
Neither Jack nor I can do it, but he's got it handled. Give us an update on what it's like out there. A little physical.
Yeah, it's getting awful slippery, you know. It's I'm a little loose in, a little tight in the middle, a little loose off, so that's going to be a little bit hard to fix. But hey, the Quaker State Chevrolet is running good. We're doing what we have to do, and I'm sure Dennis will get it a little better. Maybe we win this thing.
Were you surprised that everybody's been getting loose? Everybody thought this was going to be a tight racetrack.
Well, it is tight, but we're getting loose coming off. We're burning the rear tires up coming off the problem.
All right, we're going to let them finish up work. Come on with me, guys. We're going to go right next door because you can see the work. We already told you about the shock that's going to be going on in the Ron Hornaday area. In fact, we'll just let Corky get in there. They are changing the complete right front shock, putting 2 rubbers in. They're going to lower 2 pounds of pressure in the left rear, and then they're going to change the bump on the spoiler as well. So they got a lot of things going on, and I don't know where Ron went. I guess it was time for him to break off for a second because he's nowhere near the truck. One more stop we're going to make, guys. Come on with me real quick because we have got to give Bob Keselowski some airtime because this guy has done a miraculous job of working his way through this field. Bob, you are doing a great job right now. What's the crew telling you?
Things are going along good right now, Marty. Towards the end of that run, we're getting a little loose, but I hate to do too much adjustment. You know, we're running second. You like to win, but you don't want to screw it up either. So we're going to make some fine adjustments and hope we go the right way.
So you're basically going to do a little fine-tuning, not some major overhauls like some of the other guys.
Real fine, and hopefully we don't screw it up.
What are you looking at there?
Here, and Jimmy Spencer come by and offered up some, and we're kind of talking with him a little bit, see if we can make some air pressure adjustments rather than change the chassis adjustment.
Okay, are you going to show us those numbers, or you want to hold on to... Oh, a guy who's going to show us the numbers. Hey, everybody else has been keeping secrets from us. Thanks, Bob. Good luck. Guys, I'm going to turn back to you. We're going to try and bolt to the other end of pit lane.
Say anything there? Could you make any sense of those numbers?
I just quickly saw the numbers. What they were talking about was the air pressure buildup in the tires. In other words, if the right rear builds up more than the right front, that tells you the truck is loose. And how much they build up, how much more than each tire's build up, will specify what kind of changes they will make.
Keselowski, the one guy in that quartet who seemed pretty happy with his truck. Wholesale changes on pit road as these guys try to find a combination that will help them win. The Virginia is for lovers, 200.
Back at Richmond International Raceway, and we had to talk to this guy because he has earned his airtime. Remember that Jay Sauter started 25th and you're running 3rd. What did you guys find out between qualifying and the race?
These GM Goodwrench boys just gave me a good truck tonight. We're just going to try to take care of our tires and have something to race them with at the end.
What about changes? What'd you do? You going to let us in on it?
I didn't really hear you. We're just going to do our best to get to the front tonight.
I think that's another diplomatic way, guys, of saying he ain't going to tell us those changes whether he heard me or not.
There are certain logistical problems involved with working on the pit road, in case you haven't noticed.
And that window net is probably the primary problem.
Not the fact that it's impossible to hear yourself think down there. What a monster weekend we got coming up in Richmond. It's all on ESPN. Tomorrow we'll qualify the Cup cars at 5:30 Eastern time on the Deuce. RPM tonight will be at 7 o'clock with all the Cup news and the rest of the racing news. And then tomorrow night it's the Busch cars, 7:30 Eastern time, 250 laps. The Autolite Platinum 250. We move on to Saturday, RPM tonight at 6:30. NASCAR today. I love that show. 7 o'clock pre-race show for the big show, which is the Exide NASCAR Select Batteries 400. Race starts at 7:30. Note that NASCAR today and the race are both on ESPN, and that's a change from the norm. We want you to check it all out. It's all on ESPN, and it adds up to some pretty impressive numbers for the weekend. Check this out now. We got 3 races, as we mentioned. That's 850 laps, 637.5 miles. Look at the rundown of all the teams that are here. And we're going to give away a cool $2.5 million during the course of our 3 days here. Nice numbers, Benny.
Not bad.
Marty, getting ready to restart here. What's going on?
Well, Chuck Bound almost didn't make it because they were making a camber adjustment on the left front, and it was hanging him up because they had to move a couple of pieces. He has just gotten fired, gotten back out there. He will be able to get back into his position, which is 7th here on the restart.
Bound in pretty good shape here, steadily moved through the traffic as we realign the field and prepare to put the green back in the air. Let's get in another commercial break. We'll be right back. We ride on board the Cummins Dodge of Jimmy Hensley in 14th spot as we look at the Dodge race recap. Schrader's your leader and has led 47-101. Only 2 lead changes. It seems more than that. All the changes for position behind them have made this a heck of a race. Just over 100-mile-an-hour average speed to mid-race break. The leaders in terms of laps led, Mike Bliss still having led 2 laps more than Kenny Schrader. Hornaday led 5, if you can believe it, before he went to the back. Kirk, Denton, Shelmerdine, Green, and Crawford have all retired from the event early on. Crawford significant, of course, because of the Cintas Rookie of the Year competition. Ernie Irvin didn't get very far till the clutch went south, so he'll save his best for the Winston Cup race, where he is, of course, the defending champion.
Here is the Napa Field summary. Top 15 cars. B.A. Wilson back in 15th spot.
B.A. Wilson is making his first truck start here this evening. Wayne Grubb is racing all kinds of things. Led the Busch race up at IRP, running the local short track scene down here in Virginia. Got a pretty decent run going on here tonight. Billy Pouch in 23rd spot. Richard Childress cited Billy Pouch as an example of the kind of guy that he would hire and bring down south to race stock cars if he were looking for a driver right now. Billy is a heck of a throttle stopper. He'll do a good job for him. We're ready to go here, Benny. What do you think?
Ready.
They got that thing dialed back in. We're going to find out here real quick as we go back to green.
Ready? Go, 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 go.
Schrader got a good jump. Hornaday looked like he was getting around some people. Compton, the lapper, slipping into position.
Hornaday trying to get up the back of Mike Bliss. That is a battle for
Clear low.
12th spot. And Hornaday will take this spot and dive under Bushmiller contact and a battle for the lead. The dodge of Keselowski on the inside of Schrader takes a spot away, and here comes Jay Sauter.
Keselowski said, "I'm not sure it's broke. I sure don't want to fix it if it's not." That's a good-looking truck as he has come through this top 10 to take the lead just after the mid-race break. In what has otherwise been a tough weekend for Dodge, Keselowski has been a shining light. Look at this, 3 wide, 4 wide.
Ron Hornaday. Looks like they've tightened up just a little bit, but it ran pretty good for 10 laps or so the last time. Let's see what happens 20, 30 laps into the run. There's an 85 truck, B.A. Wilson from Bonham, Texas.
So what's BA stand for?
It's a long story. We'll get into this one.
A lot of action here to try to keep up with, and Hornaday is in the center of it. That's Rutman right in front of it, and this is now for a top 10 spot. So Hornaday is headed back the right direction. He's picked off a third of the trucks to whom he lost position during the first half. You made a great point, though, Benny. Hornaday led this thing for 5 laps when his truck was good during the first segment. Here are the stars of the show. Bob Keselowski, who came from 10th starting spot, and Jay Sauter, who came from 25th. And look where they are now. 1, 2. Ooh, there's some contact.
Oh, some serious contact between Hensley and Bliss, and some more contact.
Son, I hit you a couple times going in trying to get you out of the way. I hate to have to hit you coming out, but I guess that's what it takes. Hensley's done a little short track in his career. Bliss needs to win, man. They won a race the first year. The second year, last year, they won 2 races and thought they were really on a roll. Got a couple poles to go with it. This year, they've been able to win poles. They've got 3 of those, but they haven't been able to win a race. It just keeps getting more competitive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. You're on board with the 13th place truck, and that's the 14th place guy we're talking about.
See, Mike Wallace gets bumped on the left rear by Wayne Grubb. That's 52, Mike Wallace, the Purelator truck, as he tries to work his way by. Check the lead.
Keselowski.
Wow, 118.2. And go back to 66. Brian Rafter ran over 118 miles per hour.
That's see you later speed right there. 1.5 miles at the line in top speed. And the way you get top speed at the start-finish line is exit speed off the corner. Put it all together, it means great lap time. Not quite as quick this time. In fact, Sauter is quicker.
And we see that Hornaday has been able to get by the 80 truck of Joe Rudman. So put Hornaday back up to 10th spot. And look, and Stacy Compton, it just gotten his lap back from the leader. He was the fastest truck on the racetrack. As a matter of fact, he's driving away from the leaders.
Stacy Compton in a truck that Butch Mock helped put together. Butch, Winston Cup car owner. And a big favorite here. He's from Hurt, Virginia. There he is. Right in the middle of that Cintas Rookie of the Year battle. And he will move up as a result of Crawford's problems here tonight. Meanwhile, the 04 Brad Teague is going to go back to pit road, showing some smoke. No caution. Battle continues up front as Chase Sauter maintains the interval at about 2 truck lengths, maybe 3 back to from the leader Keselowski. Keselowski has run 59 truck races. I believe every truck race that has happened in the history of this series. And this is only the 2nd time he has led. This for Hornaday is since the restart. Lap 100, he's gone from 18th to 10th in 10 laps. Question is how much further forward he can go. You can see that he's all by himself. 9th place is up and gone. Hornaday still has his work cut out for him. We'll take a commercial break and come back with more. We're at Richmond International Raceway. Board with Boris Zed at Richmond International Raceway. Fire up the laptop, stay on top of the NASCAR action. We're going to be plugged in all week long to NASCAR Online, www.nascar.com. Follow them through qualifying tomorrow afternoon for the Cup cars. Also, of course, on ESPN. NASCAR Online is your computer source for all the latest news from Winston Cup and the rest of the NASCAR world.
Check this out, Randy Renfro, Racing Randy. That's a piece of aluminum that we can see where it raises up. It is raised up, and Randy can see nothing at all out the rearview mirror.
Wow. Marty.
Yeah, it's not so much that he can't see out that, but one of the interesting things, Benny, remember the last time we saw him racing on ESPN was at Bristol when he had an awful crash. It forced him to give up smoking. He couldn't breathe well enough to puff on the cigarettes, and he hasn't had one since.
He spent 10 days in the hospital from that crash.
Yeah, that was a bad hit. And we joke about it now because he's healthy and back in the truck racing wars, and does have a bit of a visibility problem right here. Riding on board with the defending race champion, Kenny Irwin Jr., sitting in 5th spot. And all over him is Rich Bickle, who is currently 2nd in the standings. He's 6th on the racetrack.
That's Kenny Schrader, the 53, right in front. The Penda Truck Accessories Chevrolet. Schrader runs a few races each year.
Kenny sounded pretty proud of that at the halftime break, but has not been able to make much of an inroad here in the second half. Sitting in 4th and nowhere near your top 3. If they drop the rag right now, Sprague would lead by 100 over Bickle, with Hornaday 135 back. Now, 35. Bickle continues to lead Hornaday on the racetrack, but Hornaday has been moving forward.
Kenny Irwin will move up 2 spots into 10th place in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series points.
And also take the Cintas Rookie of the Year point standings, and I guarantee you tomorrow afternoon, none of that is going to mean a thing to Kenny Irwin Jr. because he's going to be strapping himself into Robert Yates' car and trying to, actually, technically, it's not Robert Yates' car, but he's going to try to make his first Winston Cup start right here in Richmond this weekend. Very big story.
And Kenny Irwin, you know, as we said, that the last few races he really hasn't run well in this truck, hasn't run well. Well, he said it's racetracks that he's never been to before. They really struggle with those fresh racetracks. You come back to Richmond, where he qualified on the pole last year, he feels like he's back at home, and the rest of the year he'll be able to run well in this 98 truck.
Second time he ever sat in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series truck. He put it on the pole. That helped him to catch the attention of the rest of the Winston Cup world, but it was those repeated phone calls to Robert Yates that finally got him the job. This is the best battle out there as we take you back through the Napa Field summary. You're looking at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Robert, I love the line where he said if Kenny beats on his competition as hard as he beat on me on the telephone, he'll make a heck of a driver. So far, Hensley has cut him some slack and hasn't been beaten on the rear deck of that 98, but now that could change because Bickle definitely needs to pick up that spot. Hornaday's coming after him.
Jimmy Hensley right along in the 13th spot. And this is Mike Bliss in the 2 truck trying to take over that spot. That's Joe Rutman right in front of them, the dark color truck on the outside. Bliss trying to get on the outside, and here he goes.
That's a good pass. That's a truck that's behaving. We talk about Bliss being a former USAC open wheel star. The driver of number 2 actually started in stock cars, late models up in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, won a track championship. What was it, Portland, I think, Benny, that Bliss got his start. But his dream was to win the Indy 500, so he moved back to Indianapolis and jumped in the open wheelers and won a lot of races, won a lot of championships, saw that the Indy thing was never going to happen, set his sights down south, and here he is, a weekly contender in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And he has a NASCAR Winston Cup car sitting in the garage, and tomorrow morning Barry Dotson and the crew will get that car out, and he will attempt to run his first NASCAR Winston Cup race here Saturday night with Mike Bliss.
New aspirations for a lot of guys from a lot of different divisions.
And Ron Keselowski still continues to lead. There he is. And you know what? He's stretching out just a little bit from Jay Sauter. Well, I don't know.
Probably taking him 5 laps to get a truck link, but that's still going the right direction, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Boy, that truck's been good tonight. Very impressive. And for Keselowski, this doesn't happen very often. Here comes your race for 4. Pretty stable as well. That's been Irvin's view of the rear of Kenny Schrader for a long time. Now he comes alongside, says, I'm ready to go.
I think I said Ron Keselowski. That's his brother, the crew chief that I used to race against. I can never put the right Keselowski in that truck. It's Bob Keselowski.
Well, they've kind of taken turns over their careers, haven't they? One being the driver, the other being the crew chief, and they swap spots. Both of them been doing a long, long time. Took most of a lap, but Irwin has dropped Winston Cup veteran Kenny Schrader to the tail end of the top 5. Kenny Irwin Jr., the defending race champion, moves to 4th. As Bob Keselowski continues to truck. 29th at Richmond in 1995, 33rd in 1996. He's leading it tonight. Stacy Compton has company as the leader comes knocking. We'll take a commercial break and be back with more. We're at Richmond International Raceway. Strawberry Hill is hot tonight. Benny, you and I aren't the only ones who love Richmond International Raceway. Look at the folks jammed into this place on a Thursday night.
This will now hold 97,000 people. As we see Jay Sauter in the 3 truck try to run down. Wayne Grubb on pit road. And looks like he's going behind the wall. Bad news.
A lot of those folks get to cheer Wayne Grubb on a week-to-week basis at the short track races around this neck of the woods. He's a local boy. He and his brother just out of high school. Here come the crew. Kept that thing on the lead lap all night. We'll have to get Marty to figure out what happened there. But for Grubb, it was a short night, a disappointing end to this.
And his brother Kevin in qualifying slipped coming off turn 4 and missed the field for tonight's Virginia is for Lovers 200.
Bobby King and the crew go to work. Bobby was the longtime crew chief for Tommy Ellis, lives here in Richmond, and says he likes this deal. The Grubb boys' dad got some money to spend, and they're spending on race cars and trucks and just running all over. They go to new tracks and try to give the boys experience of coming in, figuring it out in a hurry, and then getting to the front. Obviously, all in preparation for what they hope will be Winston Cup careers.
Guess what? Jay Sauter's truck seems to be going away. Keselowski moving away. There we see 10 car length, 10 truck length advantage now. And the 24 off Jack Sprague is catching up.
And that's bad news for all of the rest of these guys because Sprague is your point leader. There's Compton, who has slipped back into a lap down. There goes your fourth place truck right there. The 98 is Kenny Irwin Jr. Won it last year. Does not appear thus far tonight to have the truck to do it again. He led early and has then slipped back. A couple lap trucks as is that Barry Bodine? How did he get a lap down? Here is 17. That's Rich Bickle. And he is 5th. And here comes Schrader in 6th spot.
Barry Bodine is having some type of problem. He's a couple laps down there on the white number 7. There you see Chuck Bound back in 7th spot. Next side truck.
Now, I'll tell you what, I am impressed to see the yellow colors of the 61 running in the top 10, but he's lost a spot here to Ron Hornaday. Hornaday moving in front of Randy Tolsma, picking up 8th position. So this is 8th and 9th. Hornaday was good right after the restart, but not good enough to go to the front.
And Butch Miller's got some smoke, showing some smoke out of the back of that truck. He's in 10th spot as Mike Bliss tries to close in on the back bumper of the 20 truck.
Doesn't look like Bliss got it exactly right on the halftime break either. He was back there with Hornaday. 15 to 16 has moved back to the tail end of the top 10.
Let's see if we can see the smoke I saw the last time. There we see the smoke out of the right.
Ooh.
When he gets back on the accelerator, he has some smoke out the exhaust pipe.
Butch Miller, one of the best light contenders in this division. There you see the smoke again as he comes off the final turn. Yellow is out.
They're talking about some debris in turn 3.
Now, these guys do not race back to the yellow, so they are under caution as soon as it flies at start-finish.
And the 29 truck,
well, some of them race back to the yellow.
They're trying to get a lap back, so they're racing back to the yellow. But the 29 truck did definitely not want to see this caution flag.
Keselowski, best career finish was his 5th at Portland earlier this year. Tonight, he's got the opportunity to win the big enchilada. We got a yellow flag here for a little debris on the racetrack. And wait a minute, I thought this guy was behind the wall. What's up with that, Marty?
Well, Wayne Grubb was behind the wall, and as soon as they got him back here and we came trotting down, all of a sudden they fired him back up and got him back out on the track. And I said, hey, that was pretty quick. He said, yeah, it was the primary ignition box. As soon as we realized, all we did was switch over to the secondary, and we're underway again.
Well, it's good. Those boys were having a decent weekend here until they had to take it behind the wall. But that whole thing is about getting experience at the stage of his career that Grubbs is in. Well, let's take you back through the field and see who's chasing Keselowski tonight. Sauter will be right on his tailgate when they resume. This will also get Sprague back up there as you look at a Dodge and 2 Chevys and a Ford in the top 4, and then Bickle in 5th spot trying to do something with Sprague in terms of points. But what he's got to do is finish ahead of him on the racetrack.
Let's take a look at 16 through 30. Carelli back through 28th. Brad Teague still on the track, and all these other trucks out of the competition. Scott Walters, Tammy Joe Kirk.
Is this Marquis' first truck race, maybe?
I believe it was his first truck race.
Yeah, and he's passed as many people. He qualified in the 30s and is running 18th. You're on board with Boris Said here as they realign for the restart. Boris, the well-known road racer who is making the transition to the short track competition under the tutelage of here we go.
That's Billy Pouch on the inside. Is that how you say that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Boris Said and Wayne Grubb side by side. Meanwhile, the 3 truck working on that 29, trying to get that lead away.
There's Hornaday in the middle of the mix. Man, they hustle around this joint. 3/4 of a mile, but it is fast.
And the 98 truck, Kenny Irwin, is working on the points lead. Oh, he hits the wall. And a battle for the lead.
Sauter gets good and goes around the Dodge. Jay Sauter from 25th starting spot takes the lead. Keselowski's bubble may not have burst, but it's got a dent in it. Here comes the 24 Sprague. What a great run for Jay Sauter tonight. 25th to first, and he got most of that done in the first half of this race. He's been sitting out there sizing Keselowski up for the entire second half of the race.
And that brush with the wall that Kenny Irwin had coming off second corner looks to have slowed his truck down somewhat. And right now, Rich Bickle is 17 up, pressuring him.
Bickle sees an opportunity here. Again, Sprague is his primary adversary, not only for the race win tonight, but also for the championship. And he can see him there just 3-4 truck lengths ahead. Irwin's now dented number 98 between them.
He's taking a look. Can't get the run down the straightaway he needed. 17 truck Bickle drifts up. Now tries to bring the truck around the bottom of the racetrack. But that time it did not work as Irwin maintains that position.
It's got to be frustrating to sit there with a truck just a little bit better than the guy in front of you, but not enough better to get around him. Hey, only 40 to go. This thing is flying by in Richmond, and Jay Sauter has flown into the lead over the now frustrated Keselowski, who sits back there 2 truck lengths back thinking, where did this go wrong?
I think that Keselowski needs this thing to go green flag the rest of the way. It looks like as on the long runs that he's a better truck than the field, but when the tires cool off, some of the other trucks are able to outrun him.
Think it's going to be enough better if he gets a long run to get back around Sauter?
I think so. I think he can pass Sauter if they run the rest of the race under the green. And right now, Jay Sauter is slowing down, and Keselowski's catching up. Oh, baby. There we see Mike Wallace, 52. Billy Pouch, Butch Miller, and we've got some contact between Bliss and Butch Miller.
These guys been running 3 and 4 wide here for a couple of laps. It's a wreck waiting to happen. Bliss says, I got to get out of here, man. These guys are going to stick them all in the wall. This is 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and others.
Maybe the rest of the guys on the lead lap.
Mike Wallace looks like he might get caught out here as Miller follows Bliss by on the inside. Butch at number 20. Here comes Keselowski, obviously listening to Benny Parsons on the onboard radio and saying, okay, I'm supposed to go up there and pass that black truck.
Boy, look at that. Great. He gets off the corner.
Sprague lurking back there, the point leader. We talk about Hornaday's huge run that he's made in the championship in the last half dozen races. One of the reasons he's not leading is because Jack Sprague has finished in the top 5 in every one of those races. There's no doubt who they got to beat to take this title.
I bet Jimmy Spencer, and this time Sauter moves over trying to keep Keselowski from getting position. I bet Jimmy Spencer sitting on top of a truck down there watching this truck race and saying, I sure hope those boys did what I told them to do. Watching the race with some interest.
Spencer coaching Keselowski a little about the mid-race changes. Sauter, who got that Chevy very wide there for a couple of laps, trying to keep Keselowski back, pulled out to a truck length and now has lost all of that as Keselowski is right there. And look at the rest of them coming, Benny.
He is coming, and Keselowski, if he tries to move on the outside, is going to lose second spot. And once the 24 gets on the inside, then the rest of them are going by. Oh, some contact as he comes downhill, trying to block that move. Now he understands that he's got to pass a tree on the inside. If he moves outside, Sprague, the rest of these trucks are going to go by.
So who's holding them up here? I thought it was Sauter. That lap would look like Keselowski. Meanwhile, side by side for 7th spot. Here comes Bound alongside Hornaday.
And look at the brake rotors on his truck. Glowing red as he uses those brakes. Uses his sheet metal.
Clear.
I love short track racing. Keselowski going back to work on Sauter. That's your top 5 trucks, top 6 trucks, all in a knot here. Richmond International Raceway. One reason that we call Benny Parsons the expert analyst is because he can tell you what's going to happen before it happens. We went to commercial with Jay Sauter leading. We come back. A nice long green flag run with Keselowski getting exactly what he needed. Keselowski goes around Sauter to take the lead. Might as well take a look at it since you were all watching the commercial. Here you go. You didn't miss a thing.
Start-finish line. Keselowski on the inside of Sauter. They go down in the corner. And Sauter goes uphill just a little bit, and Keselowski drove it right on the inside. And look how easy it was for Bob Keselowski.
Boy, that truck hooks off the corner. That is... They haven't had much wrong with this truck from the get-go. They started 10th, made little tweaks at the mid-race break. Top 6 are gone. Let's see, who's 7th here? That should be the 99 of Bound, who has escaped from Hornaday and leaves Hornaday in 8th spot. This is further back. 15th is where number 43, Jimmy Hensley, runs right now as he battles with the lap truck of Billy Powell.
Trying to chase down Rick Pirelli directly in front of him. This B.A. Wilson in the red 85, folks. This is his very first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race, and he's still on the lead lap, running in 16th spot. Young man from Bonham, Texas. You asked me what B.A. stood for? It's not his initials. His name is William Hubbard Wilson IV.
William
Hubbard Wilson IV.
So why do they call him B.A.?
When he was little, they said his name was Billy. They said, well, say Billy. And he came out B.A. He came out B.A. It's been that way ever since. Second place.
Got that story in just before that pass. I'm impressed with that. This is for second, and this is Sprague doing it with the 3 truck of Jay Sauter, and they just swapped the spots.
Well, they swapped it, and they swapped it right back.
Exactly. Sprague knows he's going to have his hands full with Sauter. When Jay was running up front a moment ago, we were reminded that the furthest back any NASCAR Craftsman truck winner has started was 26th. Jay did that at New Hampshire earlier this year. He started 25th tonight. He was leading it, but Keselowski's Dodge got better and went away, and now Sauter has his hands full with Jack Sprague.
And Sprague looks like he's got position. He will. Sauter wisely backs up and dives down to the inside, trying to block the 17 truck of Rich Bickle from taking over the spot.
Because Bickle wants very much to hang right on the Sprague, the man he needs to beat for this championship. Kenny Irwin Jr., the defending champion, gives us a great view of all this. As we get down to 20 laps to go here at Richmond, the Virginia is for Lovers 200 is flying by.
And we see Randy Tosma going by Hornaday. That's the battle for the 9th spot. And they trade a little sheet metal, a little paint. And that yellow truck's going to be blue, and the blue truck's going to be yellow in just a minute.
Rubbing is racing on the short tracks. And Miller is right on the tail end of that battle. This one's going on doorpost.
No, it's coming. 20 coming. Inside.
Hornaday's spotter telling him that there are more to come. Referencing Miller, and Hornaday and his team did not find the magic here tonight.
Going inside.
Butch gives him a little slap with the right rear and drives on by. And now here comes Barry Bowden trying to unlap himself from Hornaday.
Right along with Mike Bliss. He's in 8th spot. He's 8.5 seconds behind the leader. Marty Reed, what kind of story you got on this truck?
Well, Benny, we've been keeping an eye on him because he's been picking off vehicles left and right. He is the quickest truck on the track right now. Talking to Barry Dodson, he says, we need a quick caution, and we're going to be right back in this thing. He says, the truck is finally where we need it.
Well, they need the caution for the track position. There's Barry. Had a lot of success over the years with the likes of Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace. Great crew chief. Really likes the truck division. Thinks he's found a home here. There you see how Bliss's night has gone. It's been an up-and-down affair. Started second, back way up. Now they got the truck right. They need a caution to get the track position, and they think they can do something with this thing, but only 16 to go. They're out of time.
And Keselowski's the truck that does not need a caution flag. If they go green the rest of the way, I think he can win this thing. If there's a caution flag, and we see Grubb trying to get by the 99 truck.
The number 47 was smoking right there. That's Jeff.
41.
41, yeah. That's the truck of Randy Renfield showing smoke on the bottom, but continuing without the caution flag.
And Wayne Grubb, several laps down, goes by Chuck Bound. Well, almost some contact, and Bound is going to lose the spot to Bliss, but he's not careful.
This one's for position. This is for 7th spot. Now don't give it to Bliss quite yet. Now he's clear. So that definitely is the truck on the move. Dodson called that right, but with only 14 to go, the laps are counting against Mike Bliss here as he tries to run back into the top 5. Let's get that last break in. We'll be right back. They're hooting and hollering in Rochester, Michigan, because their guy is on the move here in Richmond, Virginia. Keselowski leads by a bunch.
10 laps. 10 laps to go. And right now, the 24 truck is not gaining. Keselowski has some traffic to contend with. And here we see Randy Tolsma, 61, has caught Chuck Bound. That's a battle for the 8th spot.
In front of them, Mike Bliss has moved to 7th. That happened just before the commercial break. Everybody scrambling now to get what they can in the last 10 laps. Our number 41 truck at Renfro continues to smoke, but he keeps it down to the bottom of the racetrack and has not brought out a caution flag. A caution could be fatal to the hopes of Keselowski based on what we saw earlier. Benny called it dead right. That truck is so good on the long run. But if they get a yellow now with 9 to go, that would give Sprague one last shot at it. Stacy Compton going a lap down here to the leader. That would probably be 2 laps down now. Yeah.
Yes, 2 laps down.
That truck was unlapped itself and is running very, very well. Earlier, we thought it might have been the fastest truck on the racetrack, but it didn't last long. With the new sealer, track conditions, we've seen trucks come and go probably more than we've seen in the previous 2 years here, Benny.
Sure have. We see Sprague. There's the 2nd place truck as he tries his best to gain, but he's losing instead of gaining. He's losing to the leader, Bob Keselowski. Folks around Detroit, Michigan are doing handstands right now if that 29 truck can just hang on. This family and their father have been racing around Detroit ever since I've been doing it, since 1960.
There's 4th and 5th. That's Bickle and the defending race champ Kenny Irwin Jr. who will make his Winston Cup debut here this weekend in Richmond. With 6 to go, the leader's going to have to fight his way through some traffic. Sprague is not close enough to capitalize on this, I don't think. But Keselowski will pick his way carefully through here as he works his way past B.A. Wilson. What did you say his name was again?
William Hubbard.
Love it.
And Ron Hornaday is about to lose his spot. B.A. Wilson is going by Ron Hornaday.
There goes the leader, dropping Hornaday off the lead lap. Not a great night for the defending race champion. They were good for a while, but it's all gone away as Bob Keselowski appears to be headed for Dodge's 2nd victory in the history of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Wilson gives him a wide berth. Kid from Texas who now makes his racing home right here in Virginia. Sprague's a long way back and still has all of that traffic to deal with. 2 seconds is the interval, 1st to 2nd.
He gained 1 second while the 29 truck of Keselowski fought his way through that traffic. But now, as you said, he has that same traffic to go through. And it looks like he's going to lose at least a second trying to work his way through.
Sprague doesn't need to win this race. He would like to win this race, but he doesn't need to win this race. In terms of the championship, this will be his 6th or 7th consecutive top 5 finish. And all the guys he needs to beat are behind him tonight. So he's going to build on his point lead.
There's our leader coming off turn 4 for the white. I'm sorry, it's coming off turn 2. I got ahead of myself just a little bit.
It's going to be a very popular victory. Keselowski, if he can hang on for another lap and a quarter. Here's the white flag as he crosses start-finish. 1 to go for Bob Keselowski. Brother Ron turning the wrenches on the truck. The 1989 ARCA champion, 24 times a winner in the ARCA division, but in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Competition, 59 previous starts. His best run was 5th. Tonight at Richmond International Raceway, he wins the Virginia Lovers 200. Way to go, Bob.
Wow.
For
first win for a Dodge at this racetrack since Neil Bonnet won here in 1977.
Jimmy Hensley is trying to run that Dodge down to congratulate him and say, way to go, fellow Dodge driver.
This didn't look like a great Dodge night. There's the second place Sprague, gracious in defeat. As everybody parades up alongside to congratulate Keselowski, there's Sauter giving him a wave. It's the second Dodge victory of the season. In fact, the second Dodge victory in the history of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tony Raines got the first one at I-70 Speedway earlier this year. Marty will talk to Keselowski when we come back.
Bob Keselowski climbing out of the truck, almost fell backwards, and he's getting congratulations from his crew, and rightfully so. These guys have been with the series since the beginning, and he gets his first victory here in the Craftsman Truck Series. And hey guys, can I butt in here? I hate to break up a celebration because these guys have worked so hard at this, but I have a feeling this party will go well into the night. Congratulations. This is one of those real popular victories, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is for Dodge. You know, they got one victory this year, and then it kind of faded away there, but now we got another one, and of all places, Richmond. You know, I've struggled bad here for 2 years in a row, and I never really counted my odds that great when I got here, but I was hoping for a top 10, but boy, the truck just handled great. You know, the motor ran good. Gary Stanton engine just ran flawless all day and had adequate power. I mean, we had super handling, though. I mean, we could... And it just stayed there all day. That was the difference. But my luck, I figured the yellow was going to come out. And I'm terrible on restarts. Terrible.
What about Jimmy Spencer's tire pressures we saw?
Well, Jimmy, I think, probably benefited us a little bit because our right front tire went away. Apparently too much camber, and we're wearing a tire out, so you had to change that and change a half a pound air pressure. And, boy, it stayed neutral the rest of the way. And I think I could have run another 50 laps, same pace, because it wasn't slowing down. It just... staying right there.
You want to go run 50 right now? We still got some airtime.
Fired up, I could run 50 more. Hey, you don't take this away.
Congratulations, great win. Everybody was giving the crew high fives. This is a real popular one. Guys, take it back. We're going to find some other competitors down here that did real well tonight.
That's a heart warmer right there.
That really is. Bob, congratulations. Where's Ron? I haven't seen Ron in that picture yet.
I haven't either. He's kind of taking the low profile here, but believe me, there will be a Keselowski family party tonight, and well-earned indeed here at Richmond. I want to remind you that we've got soccer coming up next. Worldwide Soccer has the whole rundown on everything that happens around the world in soccer, and then we'll follow that up with the big game tonight at 11 o'clock on the news. So if you're interested in soccer, you stick around. We'll have more from Richmond. As Marty said, he'll be talking to some of the guys who didn't win here tonight, but Bob Keselowski is the guy who did. Governor Allen of the Commonwealth of Virginia has extended his congratulations to Bob Keselowski, and we would add ours. It was a heartwarming victory here tonight as you take a look at the full field results. A couple of guys that moved forward pretty impressively. Keselowski to win it, and Sauter from 25th to 3rd. Benny, this was a good truck race.
It was a great truck race, and very heartwarming to see the Keselowskis pull that Dodge into victory lane. There we see 16 through 30. Brad Teague, Wayne Grubb, several laps down. And then from 26 on back, all these trucks unable to complete the 200 laps here tonight.
When you got a big triple header weekend, you like to see it kick off in fine style, and we did that tonight. We had a good crowd. We had a good race. I think it bodes well for the rest of the weekend.
And looked like that sealer or that coating on the racetrack really did help the racetrack out. Marty Reed?
Yeah, we're down here with Kenny Irwin and getting changed real quick. We almost lost you here. Cintas Rookie of the Year, you just took the lead again, and another good run here. You like this track.
I really do, and Robert Yates has helped me out. We got to test here a lot. The Ray Vestas Ford run good. His motors run great, and I thought we had Bickle at the line, but I guess not. It was great racing all night.
Hey, I tell you, you probably will take 5th place in that Cup race debut coming up this weekend, too. Congratulations tonight. Good luck the rest of the weekend. David, all yours.
We're going to have that entire weekend for you right here on ESPN. Congratulations, Keselowski, for winning at Richmond. Worldwide Soccer is next, followed by the Metro Stars versus the LA Galaxy. Stay tuned for that. For Benny Parsons and Marty Reed, I'm Dave Despain. That's it from Richmond International Raceway. We'll see you back here tomorrow.